Many cannabis businesses have, in fact, been positively impacted by the uh, COVID-19 outbreak. In the United States, for instance, and several other countries around the world. Hi, everyone. My name is Javier Hasse. I'm from Argentina. I'm a cannabis-focused reporter and writer, book author. You can see my book back there. Currently, I serve as managing director for Benzinga Cannabis, which is a finance, media, and events-focused company. And I'm the founder and CEO of El Planteo, which is a media outlet focused on cannabis, hemp, CBD, psychedelics, renewable energies. And in terms of COVID, it's, because most of our daily operations are, digital and virtual, a lot of things remain the same. Of course, a big part of our business were events, and we've had to stop all of them. At Benzinga, for instance, we reconverted our events to a virtual format. So on June 1st, we'll be having our first Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference in its virtual version, where we'll have cannabis companies, investors, celebrities, CEOs, discussing different topics, networking. So, it's a little bit of an adaptation process, but as I mentioned, many of our daily operations remain mostly unchanged. People are at their homes researching news, writing, looking into stocks, what they're doing, what's going on around the world, what's going on in terms of legalization, conducting interviews. So we've been lucky in that sense. I do know that many other people are not as fortunate and have had to face considerably larger challenges. But fortunately, that is not the case. We've been growing, expanding, and hiring new people as we have been for the last few years, and we don't plan on stopping. We're just making sure that our people are safe and that we put out the right information out there, not to confuse people, not to mislead people. And trying to keep their spirits up as well. We've definitely have to pivot and learn a considerable amount of new skills and get used to being on camera, which, isn't something that we were particularly used to before. At the very, start of the pandemic, I was on a live broadcast, and I forgot for a second it was live and just stood up, and I was wearing a blue shirt, but the lower part of my attire was a bathing suit and flip-flops because I was at home. Many cannabis businesses have, in fact, been positively impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak. In the United States, for instance, and several other countries around the world, cannabis has been deemed an essential services. In the US, it's a state-by-state basis because cannabis remains federally illegal. But many states have deemed it an essential service, and same goes, for instance, for Canadian provinces. So during these times of quarantine or a lockdown, cannabis businesses have been allowed to continue to operate, and retailers and wholesalers have actually reported record sales, because medical patients cannot stop medicating just, because there's something else going on. And the users who are considered recreational or adult users who are not necessarily medicating for a specific condition, but using it, for instance, to treat their anxiety, um, seem to be relying more on cannabis than they did before. And it makes sense, right? You're locked in your house, and there's uncertainty about the future, uncertainty about your job and the economy and where the world is going. So being able to access legal cannabis to help deal with anxiety is quite important, and it helps in general, just not to go crazy with boredom. But I mean, that's kind of an important thing to take into account as well, right? If you're operating in the cannabis industry and you're lucky enough to be able to thrive in a time like this, be mindful of that. Maybe give back, maybe engage in charitable initiatives, and not just cannabis initiatives, right? Because that's something we do a lot in the cannabis industry. We help other cannabis organizations, which usually makes a lot of sense. But right now, organizations like food banks also need our help. And since we're currently in a privileged situation, maybe it's a good time for that. And down that line, as a journalist, one thing I would suggest is maybe do good just for the sake of doing good. People will know, but stop issuing press releases for every small donation you make. You're wasting money, you're wasting people's time, and honestly, it just starts to look like you only helped to brag about it, which should not be the spirit of helping. Thank you, viewers, for watching Entrepreneur Spirit by Designhill. Hope to see you again soon, and hope you get some good takeaways from this and the other great sessions that the Designhill team has put together. Thank you for having me. So I'm the same in all social networks. My name is Javier Hasse. That's JAVIER HASSE. You can Google me. It shows up with a little, knowledge panel on all of my social media. I use the same handle everywhere. It's Javier Hasse all together. No underscores, no points, no anything. Just Javier Hasse.